Hey Francine, how's Tessa doing today? You did go and visit her, right?
Hey, Frank, it's good to hear from you. Tessa was doing totally fine when I was there with her. She's much better after starting on the new medicine regimen the doctors told us about.
Totally fine? What's that supposed to mean? How can she be totally fine in this situation?
No, well, all I mean is that she hasn't gotten any worse. Obviously, her health isn't totally fine, but she is undergoing cancer treatment, so you can hardly expect otherwise. Yeah, I know they're trying to save her life, but chemotherapy really is awful. It's tearing me up to have to see her like this every day. The new medicine they put her on made all of her hair fall out.
Wow, is she upset about it?
Of course she is. She's still in elementary school. And she's a girl. There's no denying it. She was pretty damn shocked and broken up about the whole thing. It's only natural she would be, right? It would be bad enough for an adult who properly understood everything.
She doesn't seem any worse, you say? She didn't seem to be particularly unwell or anything. We should be grateful just for that. We have to take all the victories we can get, no matter how small.
I guess, but to be honest with you, I'd be lying if I said it wasn't painful for me to look at her in that state. Her pillow was covered in hair that had fallen out. She's putting on a brave face and pretending she doesn't care, but I'm her mom, and I can tell she's hurting inside. Couldn't take seeing my little princess like that. I had to get out of there, Frank. I left the ward.
You did what? You knew this would happen, damn it. The doctors told us her hair would start falling out after the chemo started. It's never going to be a pleasant thing to see, but how could you not have been prepared? It's only natural she'd be shocked after losing her hair. What the hell do you think seeing her parents freak out is going to do to her mental state? She's already vulnerable as it is. She needs us now more than ever. And you left her there?
I know that. But it's going to keep falling out, and quickly, too. Before we know it, she won't have any hair left. I can't bear to see her like that. It was horrible.
No, of course it's horrible. Don't get me wrong, babe. I totally understand how you feel. But we can't bury our heads in the sand. This is happening, Francine, whether we like it or not. If it's this bad for us, what the hell do you think it's like being Tessa right now?
I understand what you're saying, Frank. Ugh. Oh my God, Frank, how long are we going to have to carry on like this? What did she do to deserve this? Why does our poor daughter have to suffer so senselessly?
Believe me, I'd love to know the answer to those questions myself.
I'm sorry. I never expected myself to get this upset. I think I'm losing my mind. If I start taking things out on you, everything will be totally hopeless.
You're exhausted from being with Tess all the time, right? It must take a lot of mental stress to keep yourself composed, seeing her that way. I haven't been able to get to the hospital due to my crazy work schedule, and believe me, I feel pretty crappy about that. It's fine, Francine. It's not a big deal. Really. Don't worry about me.
I'm sorry.
I said don't worry about me. Tessa is more important than me right now.
Right. I wonder if she'll really be okay. I'm relieved she didn't seem any worse physically, aside from the shock of losing her hair, what with starting chemo and all. But it was so awful seeing her all broken up like that.
You headed over to visit her with your mum and dad this weekend, right? I'll join you guys then. Let me try speaking to her. Let's see if her pops can't cheer her up a little.
Right. But you know she hasn't shown much improvement at all since being admitted to the hospital. Don't say anything reckless that might freak her out or my mom out, okay?
Of course I won't. But keep an eye on her for me until then, alright? It's bound to be difficult, but we need to be strong for our daughter's sake. She needs us now more than ever.
Frank, why would you even say something like that? Didn't I tell you not to say anything reckless? My mom and dad are furious. I can't believe you said that to Tessa at all, let alone in front of my parents.
Oh, that's funny, because from where I'm standing, none of what you're doing makes any sense. That's why I said it. I was wondering whether you'd make an absurd overreaction, and lo and behold, you are.
What? This isn't the time to screw around, Frank. Start making sense. Thankfully, Tessa seemed to find your stupid little remark funny, so at least she's not upset, but what kind of twisted sicko calls their daughter a baldy while she's on chemotherapy? I can't believe you.
Come on, Francine. I didn't put it that bluntly, did I? I worded it more kindly than that, and you know it.
But why would you need to say that in the first place? Looks like you went bald, sweetie. Oh well. And to think you laughed, too. You're sick. Who says, oh well, to their freshly bald, cancer-stricken 6-year-old? Do you understand how much your foolish little remark just hurt our poor daughter? That poor girl, she is fighting cancer, and the last thing she needs is her own dad insulting her.
Poor girl. Give me a break. The only thing upsetting our daughter is your attitude. Is that the way you treat her every time you visit? If I'd have known, I'd have said something earlier. God damn, my boss keeping me at the office does this all the time.
My attitude? What the hell does that mean? All we did was visit her. I don't need to be lectured on how to behave around my own daughter by the prick who just insulted her while she lay in a hospital bed.
You couldn't be more tragically mistaken. Or endlessly piling sympathy on her like she has hours left to live is what you guys call a visit. If that's the case, you and her parents need to stop visiting her immediately. All you're doing is hurting her by constantly reminding her about what she's going through and how unfortunate she is.
You have no right to say that. Do you have any idea how hard it was for me to calm my parents down after you left the room? They even told me to divorce you.
Let them say what they like. I don't care. Let me make this clear. You guys are the ones treating her like a pitiful, helpless victim.
What's that supposed to mean?
The way you're all huddled around her, wailing, oh, you poor, poor thing. It almost made me want to vomit. I felt like I was at a funeral. Good luck, sweetie. I mean, really. Randomly interjecting crap like, I know all your hair might have fallen out, but you don't need to worry about that one bit, into conversations about her favourite cartoons. You're supposed to be making her feel better, not worse. Stop screwing around with our daughter's emotions, Francine.
Pfft, all we're trying to do is stop her being upset. Ugh, what's the point in trying to explain? An insensitive prick like you would never get it.
Insensitive? That's rich coming from you. Are you completely oblivious to how much constantly reminding her she has cancer is hurting her? Why does she need you to bring up the fact she has no hair left every 5 minutes? You treat her like she's in a freaking casket already. It hurts to watch. You treat her like a hopeless victim. You act like you're already at her funeral. All you're doing is upsetting her.
What are you suggesting I should say then? You've got some nerve to come at me with this crap despite you being the one who made mean comments about her hair.
Mean comments? Please, did she even seem remotely upset by what I said? If anything, that's the biggest smile I've seen on her face in weeks. Do you have no idea what that means?
This is pointless. I can't take it anymore. We may as well be banging our heads against a brick wall. I'll be staying at my folks' place tonight. I won't be coming home for a while.
Do as you please. I don't want to see your face anyway.
Hey, Pops. Did you and Mom have a fight?
Hey, Tessa. What's up? What makes you think that?
Well, Mom came to see me today, but she seemed way more down than usual. She looked really angry when I smiled at what you said yesterday.
Ah, I see. I'm sorry, sweetie. Making you worry about me and your mum like this.
It's fine, Pops. You don't have to apologize. But was it bad of me to smile?
No, you didn't do anything wrong at all. Me and your mum just had a little difference of opinion. That's all. We were talking about you.
About me?
Yeah, about you. You know how much we both love you, right?
Yeah, I know that. But, well, why were you fighting then?
How to put it? You see, it's like this, sweetie. Since me and your mum both love and care about you so much, there are things that we feel so strongly about that we simply can't budge on them.
Huh? This is difficult. I don't understand.
Ah, right, of course. Let me ask you this, Tess. Do you like your mum?
Yeah, I love her.
Right? Well, I love her too. But how would you feel if your mummy, who you did love, did something bad to your pops?
I'd get mad and tell her to stop, because I love my Pops too. I want all three of us to be friends and get along.
Well, that's how things are between me and your mum right now. We still haven't made friends yet. Which is why I want you to know you're not in the wrong here.
When will you make friends? Right away?
It'd be nice if we could make up right away. But to tell you the truth, I don't know myself either.
Hey, Pops, you know when you said I was bald and laughed? I was happy.
Oh, Where did that come from all of a sudden?
Ever since I got sick, Mom and the others have been making me feel so sad all the time. They act like I'm gonna die. I'm not helpless and I'm not gonna die.
That's right, Tessa. You're not. You must hate being treated like that when you're working so hard to get better.
You're the only one who doesn't treat me like some pathetic victim, Pops. That's why I'm super happy you're my Pops.
That's right, sweetie. You're no victim. I just wish everyone else understood that.
Sorry to bother you, Frank. Do you have time to talk right now?
What's up? Is this about yesterday?
Yeah, it's about yesterday. I thought maybe we could try talking things over again.
Look, about that, I said too much myself. I was wrong. I'm sorry.
No, you don't have anything to apologize for, honey. We were the ones in the wrong after all, right?
What? Are you feeling okay? Am I hallucinating? You were furious with me yesterday.
This evening, I got a call from Tessa. She told me why you got so mad. I think I more or less understand it now.
From Tessa? Wait, she called you about that? Really? I see.
She said us fighting was really hard on her. She pretty much ordered us to make up as soon as possible. That's not all. She burst into tears. What the hell are we playing at, Frank?
You're right. Us fighting over what's best for our daughter doesn't really make any sense if us fighting makes our daughter cry now, does it?
Right. That's why I'm sorry. I never stopped to think about why you were angry in the first place. I just reacted.
No, it was wrong of me not to explain too. I kind of just assumed you'd get why I was mad and let the anger take care of the rest. I haven't had my head on straight lately, what with everything that's going on. I guess you could say I'm quick to anger. You're well within your rights to be mad.
Cut it out, Frank. That's my line. I was so intent on things being the way I thought they should be, I never stopped to think about what Tessa herself thought about the way I was treating her, or how she felt about her current situation. I just decided what was best for her by myself based on nothing but assumptions. I realized I clearly wasn't doing her any favors the moment she burst into tears.
Go easy on yourself, babe. It's not like I'm saying everything you did was wrong. It's just that Tessa's fighting this thing with every last fibre of her being. She's like a little super soldier. And the thought of her bravery being reduced to nothing or minimised by being treated like a helpless victim was tearing me up inside.
Yeah, you're right. I see that now. I was closest to her, and I should have known more than anyone how hard she was fighting, but in spite of that, I didn't. How did I not notice, Frank? God, I've been such an idiot!
We both had our hands full, Francine. Don't talk about yourself that way, please. It hurts me to see. Things haven't been easy lately, alright? It's only natural we might act a little crazy sometimes under all this stress. She got hospitalised out of nowhere after all. One day she was going to school like usual, and the next she was in a hospital bed on an IV trip being told she had to undergo aggressive life-changing therapy. All I could ask myself was why her? I think obsessing over that so much made it hard for me to see things straight.
You know our Tessa. She told me she enjoys every single day, even now. Can you believe that? Things should be harder for her than anyone, and yet somehow she's stronger than the both of us put together.
She said she was super happy about everyone visiting her together, you know. Me, you, and your parents. And that's not all of it. This one's really going to shock you. She even said she actually enjoys studying. Apparently she works on her textbooks and printouts from school every day in the hospital ward.
She told me all about how when she gets out of hospital she wants to try out a bunch of new things at school. Volleyball club, piano lessons, fencing. I could barely keep up as she listed off all her new goals. She said she gets excited just thinking about it. I had no idea she had all these plans for the future. No, it's not that I didn't know. Maybe I just didn't try to find out.
It's just like I said, right? I wasn't seeing things straight, and neither were you. There's no need to go beating yourself up over it. Me and you have been through a lifetime's worth of stress in the last few weeks.
Seeing her after she lost all of her hair like that for the first time, it terrified me so much that I ran out of her room in a panic.
Yeah, I know, babe. I know you did.
She told me she wished I didn't do that. You just laughed it off like it was nothing when you saw her without her hair for the first time, right? She told me what you said. Who needs hair anyway? Hair is for chumps. She said your cheerful spirit made her so happy. She said she wished I treated her more like you did. I was totally blind to what she really needed from me. I really am a failure as a mom.
That's not true, Francine. Don't say things like that.
How is it not true? I know you just said we weren't seeing things straight, but even in spite of that, even in spite of all the stress, all the pain, all the heartache, and all the worry, you still managed to understand how she was feeling and what she wanted. But me? Nope. I failed her. I'm not fit to be a mother.
If you're not fit to be a mother, why'd you get so mad at me?
Because I was making nothing but hasty, superficial judgments. I only reacted to what you were saying instead of why you were saying it. In the end, I was only thinking about myself. I was so obsessed with the idea of being the perfect doting mother that I didn't stop to take the time to consider what our daughter was actually feeling. No, I was downright incapable of it.
So why all the self-reflection and apologies now? If you're really incapable of thinking about what's best for Tessa, what's the point in beating yourself up with regret over what you did? Surely it couldn't be helped given the circumstance.
Stop it, Frank. You know, don't you? You know I can't be the mother our daughter deserves. Stop trying to make me feel better. It just makes me feel more pathetic.
Yeah, doesn't feel great, does it? I'm glad you understand now. Look, tell me, Francine, why do you think Tessa was so beside herself with shock when her hair fell out?
Because she's a girl, surely. But then, no, wait. I guess it must have been pretty damn shocking to see me, her own mom, dart out of the hospital room like a bolt of lightning when I saw how different she looked. It was wrong of me to do that, wasn't it?
She said she was upset because she couldn't have the same hairstyle as her mum anymore. It was a shock to her. It made her feel down.
Wait, what?
She was shocked because she loves you, Francine. She loved having the same hairstyle as you. She was sad and down in the dumps because she couldn't anymore after losing her hair. Do you really think someone who says things like that could possibly hate you?
Wow, she said that? Our Tessa said that?
Yeah, sure she did. I just said so, right? That she said that even when she felt sick, she was happy as long as you were there by her bedside to hold her hand. She was so grateful for how you made sure you were always there for her all the time, day in, day out, no matter what.
But I was only there by her bedside. It's not like I really even did anything. I didn't even notice how she was feeling, damn it!
Even just being by her side at such a difficult time is an amazing thing in and of itself, Francine. No matter how bad her symptoms got, no matter how much you wanted to bolt out of that door and never look back, you didn't. And you stayed by her side the whole time. Only a mother's capable of that.
But is this really what's best for her? Someone like me being her mom?
Who else is there aside from you? Let me make something clear. If you talk like this around our girl, she'll burst into tears on you again. She hates the thought of her mum not being around.
Right. Frank, thank you. I am Tessa's mother.
Of course you are. And we're both going to carry on being there for her, forever and ever. We're going to be there for her so much, she'll get freaking bored of us. Because the three of us are a family. Me, you, and Tessa. After that, me and Francine successfully kissed and made up, just like our amazing daughter wanted. For Francine, the realisation that she'd been blind to how her daughter was feeling for a while tore her up with regret. But once she noticed just how much Tessa loves her, she became more positive and optimistic about the future. If anything, now her and Tessa talk and have fun together more than ever before. They get along so well that anyone would think they were best friends, rather than mum and daughter. What's more, Francine's mum and dad came over to apologise to me after they realised what I really meant by what I said that day. Just like me and Francine, they were so stressed out by everything that was going on that they reacted emotionally, instead of stopping to think what I actually meant. Now there's nothing but good vibes between me and the in-laws. Not many people can say that, right? Yeah, After the events of today's story, me, Francine and Tessa carried on fighting the cancer together for another 2 years. Our strengths as a family must be paying off because her symptoms are finally starting to subside. She finally just got the go-ahead to return to school on the condition that she takes it easy and sits out a gym class for a while. Needless to say, our house is filled with nothing but smiles these days because things are finally starting to look up. There's hope on the horizon and I am loving it. Don't get me wrong. She's not out of the woods yet, and there's still a small chance her symptoms could return. But one thing's for sure, me and her mum are working hard to give her everything she needs, and I'm praying with everything I've got for that smile never to disappear from her face.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.
Brenda? I just got $100,000 deposited right into my bank account. What is all this money for?
That's money for you to use for your schooling. You told me before that you wanted to go overseas for college, right? So I wanted to give you that money as a way of getting you out there.
Wait. Why are you giving me this kind of money, though? I know I've told you before about how I want to go overseas for college, but I knew it would cost money. And I was planning on working to make some of that money. You didn't have to borrow this money or anything like that, right?
It's not borrowed or anything, so you can relax. This happens to be money I obtained from my parents after they passed away.
Wait, you got this money as inheritance?
Last month, both my parents passed away at the same time, right? And while I've been over at their house taking care of it and cleaning it up, I found their wills. They told me that there would be no will, but after cleaning around in the house, I found them in my father's nightstand.
Really? So that must mean you found more than enough to where you were able to give me this much for my dream.
That's right. But I'm a bit upset that they never used this money up while they were still around. They could have had it all, going into a really nice retirement condo or something. They always told me that they didn't have any money and that they wanted to stay in their old home together.
I feel that you should be getting all this money though, Brenda. You worked a whole lot and spent most of your time taking care of your parents, so you deserve this money more than I do. I feel terrible using the money you were given on my schooling.
What are you talking about, Alex? Let me tell you right now that I got enough money from my mom and dad that I'm totally fine handing you $100,000. I think this is the kind of money I'd like to share with those that I love. So please, don't get the wrong idea and use all that money up making your dream of studying overseas come true. It's only right for me to give you money as you're my son. I never thought I'd have that kind of money to give you, but you should take it and use it. That's what I want you to do. Or could this all mean that you don't see me as your mother? Maybe you don't want my money because you don't feel as though I'm like your mother at all.
That's not it at all. I think of you as being my real mum, Brenda. And I'm really happy to hear you calling me your son. Actually, having all this money to spend on school makes me really happy.
Then please take it and don't say anything else to me about it. I love you so much and think of you as an amazing son, so please show me that you can become even more amazing in another country.
Thank you so much for this. I'm going to get right to work talking with one of the schools I'm really wanting to go to.
Yoo-hoo, Mom! I know it's been 2 years now, but how are you doing?
Huh? Christine? What do you want with me right now?
Why are you asking me that like you don't want to hear from me? Your favorite daughter is finally getting back in touch with you, so you should be more excited than that. And actually, I was a bit worried about you, hence me texting you again.
You're worried about me?
I heard that Grandma and Grandpa passed away, so I was just assuming that you might be pretty down after all that happened. You'd always been around those two, taking great care of them, right? So I'm sure you're very lonely now and sad.
I never thought that you, of all people, would be worried about me. Especially after you left me to take care of my parents and then kicked me out of your life. So strange to be hearing from you like this again.
Hey now, don't say something scary like that, all right? I didn't kick you out of anything. You're making it look like I'm some kind of horrible daughter to you.
Well, that's because you have been a horrible daughter to me. Neither you or your father ever came near me when I was having to care for my parents, and it hurt. Instead, you actually grew further away from me and made sure I was aware of that. And just as I was having a terrible time having to balance out my life and caring for my mom and dad, you started to complain about the chores at home never being done. And started to say that I smelled awful after coming home from caring for my parents before running to your room and leaving me with all the chores to have to do then. And in the end, you handed in your own parents' divorce papers, right? Aw, I'm sorry about back then. I was just like Dad and very busy with a whole lot of things. That's it. It made me a little moody is all. And because of my moodiness, I happened to get you and Dad divorced. Excuse me? Well, come on now. Dad was so busy having to work from morning to night every day of the week and never had time for you. And I myself was in the middle of looking for a job but wasn't having any luck. So both Dad and I couldn't be asked to do the chores at home and made you do them all instead. All you had to do was take care of our family, but you always did stupid things like go to Grandma and Grandpa's place to help them. I was really pissed at you for focusing on them all the time instead of on our house, and that made me even more moody. So that's your reasoning for kicking me out of that house and out of your life? I can't believe it. But hey, after you were gone, I began to understand just how important you were. Both Dad and I learned that there was some use for you. What? We started to learn just how tough doing the chores is and how dirty as well. And we also learned that having to care for others is quite a difficult task. And looking online and watching the news, we learned. But it was too late then, because I already had handed in Dad and your divorce papers and got you both separated. I'm so sorry about that. Are you really here to apologize to me for that? I actually wanted to apologize to you back then, but I was too afraid of calling you. I had started to think that you would hold all of that against Dad and I and didn't want you doing anything to us. But I just heard that Grandma and Grandpa died. I guess they couldn't stick around any longer, could they? And I'm sure losing both your parents must be hurting your heart so badly, right? What has gotten into you, Christine? You are a lot different than you were 2 years ago. It's only natural for me to be worried about my mom, right? So that's why I'm thinking next time you and I can go out for food together. Actually, how about we go to a resort for the weekend and relax together? What? I was thinking us two could go to one of those really luxurious and expensive resorts in Cancun and relax there. This time I promise to be there for you and make sure you can feel my love. I'm happy to see that you're feeling that way, but you are actually willing to come take me to Cancun to a resort there for a weekend to relax? What? When it comes to money, you're the one that's loaded, right? I heard you got $2 million from your parents after they died. I was planning on having you pay for the expensive resort and all that's needed with that money for us. What? Why do you know about the money I inherited from my mom and dad? And how do you know the amount I received? Dad told me all about it. When he had heard about your parents dying, he immediately started to search and find out how much money you'd be getting. That bastard did that? Both Dad and I have been waiting for you to contact us about it, okay? But after a week, you never got around to telling us about either of your parents dying or the money. That's when I thought you might be so saddened by their deaths that you didn't have it in you to talk with anyone about it. So that's why I contacted you first instead. So this is all about the money I received then. I knew that the amount of money I received was far too large to go unnoticed. But I thought I would have had at least a few years before someone found out about it. Instead, that dick looked into it the moment he heard about my parents' passing. So, when are we going to Cancun? I have a lot of PTO to use up, so any time is fine with me. If you really want to, this weekend would be the perfect time to go. I have no reason to go there. And taking you, of all people, to a resort for the weekend would never go well for me mentally. Especially since you only want to be around me for my money. Huh? I am giving you a chance to finally meet your favorite daughter after 2 years. You really think it's okay to say such rude things to me when I'm being so generous? I wasn't being rude to you about it. I happen to have the right to choose who I'd like to go with to a resort, and I've chosen not to go with you. If you keep saying things like that to people, you will really be forever alone. Not only did you lose both your daughter and your husband in a divorce, but now you're not going to have anyone around you when you become a grandma yourself. If you keep that kind of toxic attitude up, you're going to die all by yourself with not a single soul around you. I don't think that ever happened to me. So you can stop worrying about me. Do you really think that just because you have $2 million now, you're never going to end up alone? I actually do think that. With money like this, I'm sure I can make something happen to keep me from being alone. I can choose to find myself a new man if I want to grow old with, or I can pay to put myself into a retirement community. Sure you can. You can have all the money in the world, but being a toxic mess like you will never bring people around you. If anything, people will run away from you when they hear about the kind of person you've become. Then your life will be even worse knowing everyone hates you. I'm sure that could always be possible. You can never buy someone else's love and friendship with just money. But you can save yourself from a future like that right now. As long as you start paying for me, I'll come right back to you and be your true daughter again. If you start paying $3,000 a month for me, I'll be around you all the time. How does that sound? What? $3,000 a month? And to seal the deal on that, you'll have to take me to Cancun first. Then once I've found that I can trust you, you can start paying me that $3,000 a month to keep me around. Even if you can't be around Dad anymore, you can have me back as your daughter again. How about that? Do you want to sign up for a subscription to me? So you're saying I can be your mother again for $3,000? Why would I ever waste my money on something with no merit? But you just told me a second ago, right? You can't buy someone's love and friendship with just money. Well, I'm telling you right now that with a small payment of $3,000 every month, you can do just that. You would never want to grow up to become lonely and old, right? I am willing to love you for the rest of your life as long as you keep that $3,000 coming. You should be thankful for this special deal. I only have a son right now, and he's all I need. What? So you don't have to worry about me ever becoming old and alone, because that'll never happen. I have someone very important to me as my family. So because of that, I don't need anything from you. Now, you hold your horses, Mom. Who is your son? Did you get yourself a pet or something? Jeez, Mom, you really are such an idiot sometimes. Thinking that an animal would ever be able to give you the same love and affection as a human is crazy. Huh? I never said he was a pet. I don't even have any pets. I would never get a pet to keep me company in my older age. If I passed away, what would happen to it? Then tell me who this son of yours is. Wait, did you get remarried? But Dad would have heard something about that had it actually happened. I am not remarried to anyone. I actually went and adopted my own kid. And that's why I now have a son. Huh? You adopted a son? Mom, you actually went out and got yourself an adopted son? What the hell do you think you're doing? What do you mean? I just wanted to have a son is all. I thought that with a son, I could have someone to raise and care for still and wouldn't have to worry about being alone as I got older. So that's why I chose to adopt. I have no idea why you would do something like that. I get that after losing your parents, you can become really distressed and all, but you went and adopted a child? Did you become so saddened by the loss of your parents that you actually went crazy? You're being rude. I have not gone crazy in any way, nor did I do this out of my sadness after losing my parents. I have had him long before my mom and dad passed, and he is very close to me now. I knew him even before I adopted him, and after a long time of getting to know one another, I was able to legally go through with the adoption. This year, actually. So you've known him for a long time then. So this must mean that I know him as well. I'm pretty sure you don't know a thing about him, nor does he know about you and your dad. I first met him while he was at his grandma's retirement home. But you probably wouldn't care to hear anymore since you think of things like retirement homes and caring for the elderly as stupid. You met him at a retirement home? When my mom started getting close to her final days, she developed dementia, and it was hard for me to care for her on her own. So every once in a while, I had her go to a retirement home on the weekend so that Dad and I could relax a little at home. And, well, one of the times I went in to go get her, I ran into a young man volunteering there. And after we first met, we'd always talk to one another whenever I'd be around. But he told me something very interesting the first time I met with him. He told me that I look a lot worse off than most of the elderly living there, and then proceeded to ask me if I was all right.
He was volunteering there as a kid?
He was so kind to me, and to think he paid enough attention to realize I wasn't okay. After that, he and I became really close. And, well, he told me that he was in a foster home at the time and went there to volunteer because it was a good thing to do with a lot of his free time. But he would soon be turning 18 and would have to leave the foster home for good. We talked a lot about both of our situations and came to really want to help one another out.
So, you're telling me because of all that, you chose to adopt him?
Well, it was still close to the time you and your dad had kicked me out of your lives. And he had told me he only had a few more months left before he had to leave that foster home. He really wanted to go to college after getting out of there, but he wouldn't have any support once the foster home kicked him out. When he told me about his dreams, I really felt for him. I wanted to support him so badly because I lost the child I was going to cheer for. So after a year of going through the whole process, I was able to adopt him and he moved into my home.
Are you an imbecile? You're going to tell me you fell for a nameless and parentless loser like him? He's not even related to you by blood, and you're going to call him your son? You are a total idiot for wanting to raise and care for someone that has nothing to do with your family. Idiot, idiot, idiot!
What about this makes me an idiot? People that aren't related by blood can still become someone's family. Blood relation doesn't mean everything when it comes to who you love as your family.
You are frickin' brainless, stupid frickin' mom! I'm sure you only did that out of the fear that you would have nobody as you continue to grow older. Well, he doesn't deserve anything from you, especially that money. I'm your actual family, so think about me before trying to find something from that brat.
Please do not talk about my son that way. He is the most important thing to me, and I won't stand for you being so cruel.
You don't need a son, Mom. You already have a daughter, and she's actually your real daughter. Go ahead and throw that brat away, because I'm sure he only wants to be with you for your money. You still have time to get rid of him before he gets all your money. Just toss him out and come to your daughter that you love so much, and let's become close again.
The only one that thinks of Brenda as an ATM is you. You're supposed to be her real daughter, yet you kicked her out of your life and house. I'm not going to sit by and let you talk to us like that anymore, you witch.
What?
You're not going to talk trash about my mum. Even if her and I aren't related by blood, she's called me her son so many times. So if you're going to keep that poor behaviour of yours up by making fun of her, I'm going to get right back at you.
What the heck? Are you really the kid my mom adopted?
I am, and so what?
Perfect timing. My mom doesn't seem to take a hint, so I'll have to tell you about this instead. I'm sure that her and you want to be mother and son, but I'm not okay with it. I am not letting you have my mom, nor have any of that money she was given.
Why do I have to listen to a whore like you say things like that about us? You already forced your parents' divorce and cut ties to her, right? You and your dad left her when she needed you both the most, so shut the hell up.
You need to shut up. No matter what you have to say to me, I'm her actual daughter, and that makes her my mom. All you and her are trying to do is make a fake family to hide your flaws, so you fake losers can shut the hell up right now.
Who's the real fake loser here? I told her all the things I love about her and she knows it, so go ahead and tell me what you love about her. Could it be you like how she never complained to you and your dad when you'd force her to do all the chores for you? Or maybe you love her now because she's a millionaire. You say you're her real daughter, so tell me right frickin' now, what is it you love so much about her? You aren't anything to her, because you never loved her the way she wanted to love you. Do get the hell away from us, no matter how much money you need. I can't even begin to comprehend how a whore like you can come back to her when you were the one who took everything she loved away. Destroying another person's life all because you couldn't handle becoming an adult is one of the worst things I've ever had to learn about. Who the hell do you think you are?
I think that I'm her actual daughter.
You think that just because she gave birth to you, you can act like a jackass? You're older than me, and even I'm starting to think of you as some first grader. To think someone like you is even related to my mum by blood. I cannot believe it. It's pure insanity.
Huh?
Never talk to my mum again. Brenda is no longer your mother, so leave her be. You were the one that asked for her to never be your mother again, so live with your mistakes. If you understand what I've said, then delete her contact and never talk to her again.
Thank you for yesterday, Alex. Seeing you talk to someone as horrible as her like that really made me feel good again.
Actually, I'm really sorry about that. I just became so upset with what I was seeing that I snatched the phone from you to tell her what I thought. I'm sure that was not the best way to make a first impression with her. She's going to start saying her mum adopted some kind of demon child now.
You have no reason to worry about that. Also, the fact that you called me your mom yesterday made me so excited. Now tell me, how are things going with you and getting into that college overseas? You told me that today you'd learn more about it, right?
From what I've been told, I'll be able to get right into the college of my dreams over there. I was only told that a few minutes ago, actually.
Congratulations, Alex! This is amazing for you, isn't it?
It appears that the agent I was working through to set this all up knows one of the administrators at the college, and so he was able to send all my documents and that essay straight to him. And after looking through it all, he told me he wants me to start going there next semester. I have a small entrance exam to take still, but I'm sure it'll be fine.
Well, of course it'll be fine. You've studied so hard and diligently for something like this, so you'll pass it easy peasy. I am so happy to see you getting into the place of your dreams.
I promise to continue doing my best while I'm over there. I'll make sure that I'm never spoken as the son who is only after your money. I want people to call me the son that only wants to see his mother's love and is always working hard for it.
Thank you, Alex, but you don't have to prove any of that to anyone, all right? You will always be loved by me like my son. So don't push yourself too hard if you don't have to. As long as you and I keep living the way we are now together, there will be no complaints about the family we are.
Keep living like we have been together? Do you mean you'll be coming overseas with me?
I think so. It would be really fun, I think. Interesting for sure. Also, being in this town still, in this state, has me feeling a bit worried, after finding out my ex is looking into me for my money. So getting out of this country for a while would really help me relax.
I think that's the best choice then. I've already been studying Spanish a lot, so when we get to Spain, you can rely on me.
You are always going to be my number one son. Well then, I think you and I should get started on preparing for the trip out there. The move out there, I mean. Hey, Mom! Hurry up and open the door. Stop trying to act like you're not home. What? I was even able to bring Dad along this time. You can go ahead and get rid of the foster child so that the three of us can live together again. It's not okay for just the two of you to have that $2 million. You have to be kidding me, right? Did you actually come to the house with a plan like that? If you're going to use that money on some stranger, then you can use it on your family as well. To tell you the truth, Dad and I are really in need of some financial assistance. If we can't get some of that money you have, then we'll be in hot water. What did you just say? Actually, Dad started to borrow a lot of money this year. He was making a lot of money through his job after a raise and promotion, but he started to put it all into the stock market and lost it all. Right now he owes at least $300,000. He has to pay back that much money? And as for myself, I just quit my job. But even after leaving my job, I haven't found anyone who will hire me. So you both have really been in need of some money then? And now you think you can get the woman you both threw away to help you using her parents' money? Once you let us live with you again, you'll be thankful to have your whole family back. You'll see that you really don't need that money-hogging brat anymore, so hurry up and let us inside. I'm sorry, but I've already gone and sold that house. As of right now, both Alex and I are on a plane. And we won't be back to the U.S. for a few years at the very least. What? What do you mean? My son is going to college overseas. So while he's doing that, I thought I'd move overseas with him as it's a perfect chance for me. Huh? I was also worried about what other trouble you and your father would cause, and I was right that something would happen again. So that's why I chose to move, to get that anxiety I had of you both out of my head. It was the perfect choice on my end to have us move away a few months ahead of him having to start school. There's No way. Then what is going to happen to Dad and I? We really need that money you have. Dad is in a lot of debt and I don't have a job. You are the only person we can ask to help us, Mom. Now come on, Christine. Could you stop calling me your mom? I was never going to help you both with anything after what you did to me, so go home.
Mom!
Good luck with whatever problems you have. Let's both work on taking great care of our separate families from now on, okay? After getting into Spain, I had my SIM card changed and was no longer getting texts or calls from Christine. From friends of mine back in town, they've told me that ever since the forced divorce, my ex's house has been a mess and has only gotten worse recently. And what's even more crazy is that both Christine and her father have been going around saying it'll only be a matter of time until they get some money out of me. But to everyone they tell that to, all they see is two very greedy and heartless individuals. And because of that, those two have pretty much lost all their friends and colleagues. Of course, no one ever came to help my ex pay off his debt, and even though he's been working for a very good company, he's having to start working a part-time job at night to make enough to pay things off. And as for Christine, she's had to start working a few jobs herself, all in order to help her dad pay off his debt, or else she too will get kicked out of his house.
Thank you for watching all the way until the end. If you felt good after watching this video, please like the video. If not, please leave a comment and give us your feedback. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Your comments and likes help this channel grow. We hope you enjoy our other stories as well.